I've worked with a lot of amazing designers in my life. When we created Play to Earn in crypto, we had this game. It's called World of Ether. And our head of design, or creative director, amazing designer. Now he's a product designer at Meta. He speaks. He has a great title. Super talented guy. And he was an incredible designer I worked with. My friend Alan, who I talk about on the show, great designer as well. My co-founder Ram on several projects, fantastic designer as well. But the person whose design I like the most who I've worked with is this guy, Alexander Vilinskyy. Now, I just want to say, all the people that I just mentioned, they are all so talented with design. But Alex has, I think, the cleanest designs from anyone that I've seen. I met Alex in 2021, I believe, while I was living in Kiev in Ukraine. And at the time, Alex was head of design at Grammarly. And I met him on the Y Combinator co-founder matching service. Our previous designer for our project Commit Club had left and we needed a replacement designer. So I was on Y Combinator trying to find replacement designers. And Alex and I connected. We had a lot in common. He was living in Kiev. He's Ukrainian. And we met over breakfast one morning and we just hit it off. Got along so well. And so Alex became our designer for Commit Club. And you can go to commitclub.co to see the work that he did. Just made us the most beautiful landing page and the most beautiful app. He designed the app for Commit Club. Everything's so pretty. And it was probably the top comment that we got and still get on Commit Club is how nice everything looks. And Alex, he lives in London now. We still talk. He works on so many cool projects. Actually, Alex he connects with a lot of high net worth individuals. And he only has on Instagram, this is so cool. He only has on Instagram a following of 1,024 people. He made a course on how he meets high net worth individuals and how he does networking. He's selling it for $499, just launched it. Made the course, made it on a whim, not taking it too seriously. And his landing page for it is beautiful because he's such a great designer. Makes his course, literally just puts out one story to his Instagram of only 1,000 people and makes $10,000 off the course. He sells like 20 of them, which is priced at $499 each. 20 times $499 is $9,980. Just one Instagram story. He hasn't even put this out to his email list, to his Twitter. It's just with an Instagram story, and it just makes 10 G's. And he doesn't really need the extra money. He's doing quite well. He's so talented. But he made it for fun. Actually, the reason he made it is because he is asked so often, how do you meet all of these great people? What are your secrets? And he's like, well, if so many people are just asking me this, I'm just going to make a product to teach people this. And that's what he did. So he's a great guy, super clean design. If you want to see his website, it is vilinskyy.com. I'm going to actually make a video about it because I use his website for inspiration for a lot of the pages on my site. And I am nowhere near the designer that Alex is, but like I learned a lot from him, like have big margins, small column lengths. His site, if you want to see it, it is vilinskyy.com with two Y's, VILINSKYY.com. And so anyway, he asked me yesterday, the reason I went on this long tangent at the beginning of this episode is he said to me yesterday, he said, I admire your TikTok game, by the way. It takes such a big perseverance to keep doing it every day. You are amazing at that. And there is something that he does not understand here. And what he doesn't understand is that doing what I do, making videos about the stuff that I make videos on, it's just really easy. If you are knowledgeable, if you are knowledgeable about something, and most people are knowledgeable about something, if you are knowledgeable about something and there's something that you like, and if there's something that you like, you're most likely knowledgeable about it, it's very easy to make a video every day. You can make a video a day in literally 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Shooting it on the TikTok app, editing it on the TikTok app, putting music on it with the TikTok app. Then you can download it with any free tool. Just Google download TikTok without the watermark, upload that video to Instagram, and there you go. And you can do that every day super fast. And I'm able to keep doing it day after day after day because the stuff that I talk about is stuff that I love, stuff that I'm fascinated by, and I'm sharing the stuff that I'm working on. Oh, some tips to make videos on TikTok really fast and to have them look great. Shoot with the app with a front-facing camera on your phone. Try to use a good hook. Nobody knows this about X. That is an easy one, pretty reliable. Edit in the app, add transcriptions in the app, add music in the app, and a bunch will go viral. And share what you're doing. Share what you're working on every day. That's what I do. I share what I'm working on every day and what I'm learning and what's interesting to me. I recently put an infinite scroll on my articles page, edwardsturm.com/articles. And if you go to that, you can see all of my articles listed on one page. No pagination. I thought this was really interesting. The Instagram feed is infinite. The Twitter feed is infinite. So I'm like, I'm going to make my articles feed infinite. And it's not really infinite. I think I only have around 100 articles. And this didn't actually impact loading times. So it doesn't negatively affect SEO like a lot of people were concerned about in the comments. But I made a video about this and people were like, oh, this is going to affect SEO negatively, and it has not. So I made the video about, look, I put infinite scroll into my blog, and this is why I did it, and this is what it looks like. That video has, I think, 100,000 views on TikTok and about 400,000 views on Instagram. And I'm just sharing what I'm working on every day and sharing what I'm learning every day and sharing what is interesting to me every day. Now, that video I actually made really fast. Some videos I spend hours on. As you know, if you're a listener of the show, you know that some videos I spend hours on. But my point with this is you don't have to do that. You really don't. You can share just what you are doing with your work every day and what you are learning every day. And lots of people, if you are listening to this, actually, you probably are doing something interesting enough to share, or you are probably learning things that are interesting enough to share. I'm going to share another example. His name is Chris Kerner. He's a listener of the podcast, a friend, and he makes great content about all of the businesses that he has and the things that he is doing and the things that he is learning. And he just free-form shoots in his car, on his phone, while he's driving to places. And this is a great example of low-effort content that is very high quality in information. And this guy, Chris, is a wealth of information. He knows so much, and he is going viral a ton, especially on Instagram. On TikTok, not as much, and I believe that's because he needs better hooks, and I've actually told him that. But on Instagram, his information is so good that it gets shared a lot. And lots of other people have great information, and they just don't share it. They, I guess, have low self-esteem, or they think that the lighting needs to be perfect, that they need to look perfect, and they don't at all. Most people know so much interesting stuff that they could share it in 5 minutes with videos every day that they can make. And when Alex said to me, I admire your TikTok game, by the way. It takes such big perseverance to keep doing it every day. You're amazing that. And I guess it does. I've been going now for 550 days in a row, never missed a day. And that is pretty unique. And technically, I could probably have missed a couple of days here and there. I just think it's easier to keep the momentum going. But to actually just keep making videos every day, it's easy for me because there's so much that I am learning and doing that I can talk about. And that's what I wanted to share. Alex, he is one of the best designers in the world. There is tons that he can talk about if you were making videos every day. Super successful. There's so much that he can share. So much that he knows. I mean, I alone have learned so much from him. And also, what if you're not actually doing any work? What if you're just studying something? This is something that I talked about as well. It's called the curious learner bias. Frequent listeners of the show know the curious learner bias. It is, if you are a curious learner and you are enthusiastic about something, just share what you are learning every day and stay within the niche of whatever it is that you are learning, and people will come to see you as an expert in that niche, even though you are just a curious learner. And the reason that people will see you as an expert is because this is the subject that you talk about every day. So when people think of your subject, they think of you because you are always putting out content on it. And I love the curious learner bias. So this is just another one of these podcasts that I wanted to do about why you should make content and why it's so easy and why everybody should be doing this, because we're all learning something. We're all doing things. Most of us have niches that we specialize in. And in 2024, it is so easy to develop your own platform. Before I had my own platform, I had to do all sorts of growth hacks and tricks to launch my products, to launch anything that I wanted to make. And a lot of them worked well, but it was still frustrating that I had to rely on so many other platforms. And I share these platforms. I share the things that I've done because I understand not everyone wants to put in the years to develop their own platform, though I think it's something that you can do passively. I think it's something that you can do passively. But I will say that now it is a great feeling to have my own platform and to not have to rely on other places like Product Hunt or Beta List, which are great places to launch products, or so many other places just to have my own thing. Or Reddit. I really appreciate that I can just launch just using my name, just using my Instagram, just using my TikTok and my podcast and my newsletter. So It's 2024, so easy to develop an audience, to put out videos every day. We're all doing interesting things. That is the thesis of this episode of the podcast. Really, it can be done in 5 minutes a day. You just have to get some momentum. There's this concept, momentum, and it is if you do something every day, it gets easier day after day and you get better day after day after day. Okay, I'm going to end with this quote from Paul Graham, which I have shared before. One of my favorite quotes is from Paul Graham's essay, How to Do Great Work. This is a quote. "We underestimate the cumulative effect of work. Writing a page a day doesn't sound like much, but if you do it every day, you'll write a book a year. That's the key, consistency. People who do great things don't get a lot done every day. They get something done rather than nothing. If you do work that compounds, you'll get exponential growth. Most people who do this do it unconsciously, but it's worth stopping to think about. Learning, for example, is an instance of this phenomenon. The more you learn about something, the easier it is for you to learn more. Growing an audience is another. The more fans you have, the more new fans they'll bring you. The trouble with exponential growth is that the curve feels flat in the beginning. It isn't. It's still a wonderful exponential curve. But we can't grasp that intuitively, so we underestimate exponential growth in its early stages. Something that grows exponentially can become so valuable that it's worth making an extraordinary effort to get it started. But since we underrate exponential growth early on, this too is mostly done unconsciously. People push through the initial unrewarding phase of learning something new because they know from experience that learning new things always takes an initial push, or they grow their audience one fan at a time because they have nothing better to do. If people consciously realized they could invest in exponential growth, many more would do it. This is episode 303 of The Edward Show. This is my daily growth hacking and growth marketing podcast. I do this thing every day, 303 days in a row now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this, give me a like, a subscribe. I never say this stuff on the show, but I guess I should. Like, subscribe, follow, whatever the F it is. And write me a comment. Say, hey, you made my day. That would make my day. Thank you so much. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.